A man just gets up and pours a glass of water. I missed the emergency notification that was being broadcast on TV. An unknown virus similar to rabies. It is sweeping the world recently. Infected people will not only lose their minds. Very aggressive. I hope that residents will reduce their travel. Take good precautions. He didn't see the news. Go out to buy vegetables as usual. He was surprised that there were many ambulances on the road today. And after he came to the supermarket, seeing everyone stocking up. Mike feels strange though, but I didn't think too much. He only bought a few essentials as usual. Until the evening my sister sent a video. He only knew what happened. Brother-in-law working in a government department. No more insider. This time the virus is even more serious than reported. The government has been on an island in advance. A safe area has been built. My sister asked Mike to come and meet him quickly. Go to the safe area together. Hearing that things are so serious, Mike immediately arrived at the airport to leave. But when you queue up to register, the ticket checking system suddenly malfunctioned. Then I saw that all flights were cancelled. Then everyone received an emergency notification on their mobile phones. Because the virus spreads too fast, the country has banned entry and exit. The scene immediately became a mess. Mike quickly called his sister to inquire about the situation. My sister said, "Let Mike go home and wait. Send someone to pick him up immediately." But he found out when he went back. The road was already blocked. From a distance there are all escape vehicles. Mike, uneasy, immediately dropped the car. "Take your luggage and walk home." But when he returned home exhausted, but I found that my neighbor's house was under martial law. Then I saw the neighbors being taken out. The constant roar and twisting sound area. It makes people feel numb after seeing it. Mike was even more scared and overwhelmed. But the next day my sister brought bad news. The government not only puts martial law on them, it is also planned to set up quarantine areas to control viruses. The army will be sent to evacuate immediately. But even after evacuation, it's more dangerous than a safe area. So he asked his brother to escape the soldiers' search first. Come and pick him up after you are completely abandoned. I thought I would have to survive alone for a long time. Mike immediately came to the supermarket to stock up on some supplies. But I found that the food on the shelves had been stolen long ago. He had no choice but to pick up some scattered food. But just as he walked out of the supermarket with his stuff, but I found a policeman in the distance. Run towards him with your arms covered. Then lock yourself in the supermarket. Mike hasn't reacted yet. I saw a few people screaming and running around. Then he saw a policeman being knocked down. Mike's strong. The super iron rod is ready to go forward. But the next second I was scared to stay in place. The infected person roared and rushed towards him. Fortunately, the police took action to solve it in time. Mike hasn't recovered yet. I found that the police in the house had mutated. Another injured policeman. Keep Mike away from him. Then shoot yourself in despair. Mike returns home. Immediately nailed the doors and windows to death. Then pull all the curtains. Because at this time the army was evacuating the masses one after another. Soon there was a knock on the door outside the door. Mike hid in the corner and held his breath. Finally, there was no danger. Obsessed with the soldiers' search. It will soon be half a month later. I can't even see a ghost on the street. But Mike still didn't wait for rescue. Since there is no signal. He can't contact his sister, either. And the food is about to come to an end. Mike has no choice. I can only risk going out and start searching for supplies. If you don't have weapons, you won't dare to go too far. Can only break into the neighbor's house and search. But after searching for several companies they found nothing. Just as he persisted in going to the next house. But unexpectedly found that there was someone in this house. It turns out that the old lady is disabled due to legs. Not caught up with the evacuation. Her appearance made things worse. Fortunately, the old lady looks at the windowsill every day, so she knows which one stocks up on food. Under her guidance, Mike began to gain. He's still in the same family. A motorcycle was found. With transportation, his scope of activities has gradually expanded. Soon Mike found a lot of supplies. The two support each other. After a while. But soon the nearby supplies were plundered. They soon arrived at the Danjinliang Bureau again. Just when he was worried about what to do next. At night the old lady contacted Mike on the walkie-talkie. It turns out that important information was heard on the radio. Someone is building a base. Assembled due to special circumstances. Survivors who failed to evacuate in time. Mike immediately became excited after hearing this. But there was no movement on the walkie-talkie. Mike immediately thought of something. He immediately said that he would not give up on him. He is kind and unwilling to leave Mike. Leave this world forever. He was sad and could only go to the assembly point alone. But he found out after he arrived. This place has long fallen. Mike can only escape here desperately. Fortunately, he easily threw them away while riding a motorcycle. He just breathed a sigh of relief. A pile of corpses suddenly appeared in front of him. He fell to the ground in fear. He didn't care about other matters and held up the motorcycle, but I found that the motorcycle could not catch fire. Seeing that a large number of infected people are about to rush over, he could only leave the motorcycle and run desperately. After a long run, finally blocked them outside the iron gate of a dock. Unexpectedly, there is no ship at this pier. Luckily, he found an airboat floating not far away. Mike quickly drove away from this place. But I just drove out not long ago. Stop in place because of insufficient fuel. Just when he was at a loss, a freighter suddenly drove towards this side in the distance. Seeing this, Mike hurriedly asked for help. That's all. He was lucky to be rescued. But everyone's eyes and language are different. Let him come back. Fortunately, someone can communicate with him. When I heard that they were going to dock to find supplies to repair the freighter, Mike hurriedly said, "You can lead the way if you are a local. And there is a safe area." But the captain didn't respond after hearing this. Because he's seen too many. Survivors are safe. Lao Ma asked Mike about his career. Mike replied that he was a lawyer. I saw what Lao Ma said to the captain. The captain turned around and left. It turns out that he lied that Mike was an engineer, because the law is useless in this end of the world. Only useful people will survive. It's like he's a pilot. Lao Ma said he can only help this. Next, it's up to Mike himself. Mike has a place to sleep now. I just don't know if there are any insects on this bed. Night, Mike heard a cry for help from outside. It turned out that there were several more survivors. But the next day, he didn't see those people last night. I only saw someone rumbling through those backpacks. Something is not right. He came over immediately to ask Lao Ma. Old Ma's calm expression. Tell him not to meddle in other people's business. Mike immediately realized that it was not easy. He lied that he knew a hospital. There is a helicopter. 2 people can drive him to a safe place. But Lao Ma was unmoved after hearing this. Mike had no choice but to escape from here alone. At night he sneaked into the cruise lounge. I planned to steal the key of the airboat and leave. Unexpectedly, I accidentally bumped into it. A few people tied here. Seeing this, Mike immediately stepped forward and untied the rope. Yao Sha Yi Miao. I saw Lao Ma and another crew member rushing over. At this critical moment, Old Ma suddenly raids the crew. The two started a fight. Get a punch. Switched a punch. Lao Ma pressed the crew to the wall. Then pick up the rope beside it. Strangled the crew to death. It turns out that Lao Ma has already planned working out of here with Mike. He quickly took the 2 of them onto the boat. Unfortunately, they were discovered. 1 person was shot and killed on the spot. Lao Ma quickly shot and covered up. Unexpectedly, he was shot in the shoulder. Fortunately, the 2 of them were lucky enough to be on the shore. But after they drove to the hospital, but I found it on the apron. There is no sign of helicopter. The car suddenly installed. The infected person who flew over. Because the site is blocked, Mike can only break and throw it away. Then use a gun to kill the opponent a few times. Then quickly turn around, facing the infected person who came. Just a thunderous. He used all the bullets in a long time. Fortunately, the 2 entered the hospital successfully. Because Lao Ma's injury is too serious, need immediate surgery, Mike began to search for surgical tools. But I heard a sound from the ventilation duct. He hurried forward and listened carefully. I found that someone was talking. He immediately started calling for help from inside, but there should be an infected person. Mike lifts his legs, kicked the bald head, then quickly escaped. Beat it. Mike then relaxed and slowly got up. But before he could find the surgical tool, I saw a large number of infected people coming to tattoo. Mike can only run forward desperately. Then return to the operating room. Close the door quickly. But strangely, the old horse disappeared. In the next second, the doctor pulled down the iron door in time. Locked a group of infected people. Mike didn't expect. There are so many survivors here. They not only helped Lao Ma perform surgery, also told Mike that helicopter was parked in the backyard of the hospital. Want to get there? You have to pass through an area full of infected people. Just as Mike was thinking about whether to keep going forward. But suddenly I heard a sound of gunfire. It turned out to be the gangsters on the cargo building. Also came to the hospital to search for supplies. This sudden situation forced them to fight to the death. But just the moment they split the iron door, an infected person suddenly rushed out. He went straight forward and threw the nurse down. Although Mike and the others killed him in time. But the nurse was bitten by the infected person. He told everyone not to get close to him. Be sure to take the kids away safely. Although everyone is sad in the future. But there is no way. I can only leave him behind and continue on the road. Soon everyone came to the infected area. Everyone walked across from one by one. Just when Mike passed by with his last child. Unexpectedly, it was discovered. Screams attract a large number of infected people. Mike hurried into the cabinet with his child in his arms. But even so, they can't hold on for long, either. Just when Mike is about to be unable to hold it, a sudden sound of gunfire came from outside. Then it became quiet. It turned out to be a gangster who searched everywhere. Just saved them. Fortunately, the other party did not find the people hiding. Everyone escaped this crisis without any danger. But the next path is the hardest. Because they are going to pass through areas full of infected people. This is what Mike looks at the side. A few carts are ruined. They tied all the carts around. Form a defensive wall. This will help you move forward slowly while ensuring safety. But the plan cannot keep up with changes. All infected people rushed over when they heard the movement. This not only increases the temperature of their progress. It also needs to stop the infected person who crawled in. Everyone can only attack and move forward quickly. Finally, they were lucky enough to come to the iron gate. Then split the door lock. After everyone came in, locked the cart to the door. Then the 2 locked the door again. Suddenly, an infected person flipped in. Mike will not be online soon. Heels on the thighs. Ah axe. Have a big fist. Then it went online. There is still something else to do. Then several infected people crawled in. Mike raises his hand. Haven't waited. It's another one. And just now, the gangsters also came with tattoos. They use firepower quickly. A way out. Breaking in. Then he ordered Lao Ma not to take off. Mike moves on the spot. Turn around and split the door lock. A large number of infected people rushed in instantly. Mike was trapped in place because of this. There are more and more infected people rushing up. Lao Ma can only start the helicopter first. Then throw down the ladder after lifting off. Mike quickly grabbed the ladder and climbed up. After escaping here, everyone flew to the safe area quickly. The cell phone signal is gradually replying. Mike quickly answered his sister's phone number and said that he was already there. On the way to the safe area. No 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 no. No 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 no. No 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 no. No 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 no. Listen to me. Spider-Man should not come here. Please. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Spider-Man should not come here. Return. Return. Don't come here. Please don't come here. Looking at the fighter plane passing by quickly above your head, several people realized in despair, that so-called safe area, probably not as safe as here. The starting point of the end of the weather. The end of the film. Friends, for the sake of the detective being frightened, give it a 1-click 3-in-1 support. See you next video.